A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day's going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center with Matthew Lester, looking at some absolutely beautiful sunshine. Hopefully, in your backyard, you've got a little bit of it too. If not, it is coming your way as we see the clearing skies moving from northern and western Michigan all across the lower peninsula. And we're going to enjoy at least a sunny day, but it is going to be a little bit on the cool side. But hey, we'll take it. Over the last 24 hours, we did not need that. What we did get yesterday, our high temperature was reached at about 10 minutes after 3 yesterday morning. That was 47 out at the airport. And temperatures just kept sliding as we went through the day, and along with it, strong gusty winds and plenty of clouds. Some of you did see a sunset last night in between the clouds. For the most part, it was mostly cloudy all night long. There was some clearing that did take place, but then the clouds moved back in, and we still had some strong gusty winds up until about 3, 4 o'clock this morning when the winds began to taper off. Matthew, right now, temperature and wind speed, what are we looking at?
Currently, over at the airport, it's mostly sunny at 43. Over in Midland, it's also mostly sunny at 43. Here at Radio Center, it's sunny at 44. We have northwest winds at 13 miles per hour, gusting up to 28 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.06, and it's rising.
As I said, it looks like a lot of locations now are reporting mostly sunny skies. If there are any clouds, down in the southeast corner, it looks like, well, Flint is reporting some cloudy skies. Jackson is also looking at clouds. Mason, Monroe looking at mostly cloudy skies. Port Huron, you're still mostly cloudy. Bad Axe, though, is reporting partly sunny skies, and they do have a little bit of a warmer temperature than what some of the other locations do have. Flint is only reporting 39, and Howell and Hillsdale, they're looking at 37 and 38 degrees. Over on the west side, especially the southwest corner, upper 30s, low 40s seem to be pretty much it. Benton Harbor is still looking at mostly cloudy skies. But again, all of that activity, because of a wind shift, it is pushing the clouds down from the northwest to the southeast. So that's why eventually everybody is going to be looking at mostly sunny skies. Northern Michigan, you've got sun, but you're pretty chilly as well. But again, upper 30s, low 40s seems to be pretty much the word all across the lower peninsula. Upper peninsula, pretty much the same there too. Kinross is looking at 34, Newberry at 37, the Sioux at 35. But everybody else is looking at 36, 37, 38 degrees. Ironwood has sunshine, and they're looking at 34. As we go through the remainder of the day, we will be watching a low-pressure system. It's over the Dakotas. That is going to be moving down into Kansas. So we're going to keep our eye on it because eventually that is going to affect our weather. What that low is going to be doing eventually is move up through eastern, southeastern Minnesota, northwestern sections of Wisconsin, then up into Lake Superior. So it's going to stay to the west and eventually the north of us as we go through the next several days. That is going to generate some shower activity. I think the best chance is going to be really late Thursday night and early Friday morning. Friday is not going to be all a washout by any stretch. And it's really going to be warmer as we go through the day on Friday. Those temperatures are going to be moving up through the 60s. Wouldn't be a bit surprised if we hit 72, 73. And as we mentioned over the last couple of days, you go south of Michigan, moving into Thursday and into Friday, upper 70s. And on Friday, places like Indianapolis, Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, they're all going to be looking at 80-degree temperatures. Now, what does that mean? Well, it could mean the setting for some severe weather. We're going to watch this. My feeling all the way along is that any kind of severe thunderstorm activity that could take place from this low-pressure system that I just got done talking about would be late in the day on Friday or very possibly after sunset on Friday night. And that seems to be the scenario that's going to take shape. So as we move in through the day on Friday, we're going to have partly cloudy skies, maybe some sun, and temperature is going to warm up pretty nice. And then Friday night, we're only going to drop down to about 50 degrees. But the impact of that unsettled air is not going to be as strong as what it could be. So as a result, any thunder shower activity we do get after sunset is going to be tempered just a little bit. It's not going to be as severe. At least the chances of it are not very good for severe weather. So we could just get a plain and simple thunder shower. But the other interesting thing, when you take a look at it, this doesn't have a lot of moisture associated with it. Unless you're right under a thunderstorm and you get a heavy downpour where you get about a quarter to a half inch, overall precipitation is not going to be all that great. So by great, I mean more than a quarter of an inch. So we'll just have to keep posted. We're still a few days out, but it does appear as though the moisture flow for this system is not going to be that much. I think the chances of getting more measurable precipitation more than likely will take shape on Sunday night and during the day on Monday. That's going to be the next opportunity for seeing a system affecting our weather. But for right now, chilly day. Some area will remain colder than what it will here in the immediate Saginaw Bay City Midland area. 51 is our projected high for the folks over in the Bad Axe area, Port Austin, Pigeon, Bayport, more along the lines of 43, 44. That's going to be their high again because of the water. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 28. Sun will set this evening at 8:21, rise tomorrow morning at 6:50. Tomorrow, 64, sunshine, a nice day. South breeze tomorrow, anywhere from 8, 10, 12 miles per hour. That's going to be it. This northwest stuff is finally going to leave us late tonight and early tomorrow morning. We'll actually have the wind tonight dying down to about 7, 8 miles per hour out of the northwest. And after midnight, it's going to come out of the east before it eventually winds up coming out of the south tomorrow. Even tomorrow night into the day on Friday, we're going to be looking at a south wind, but the wind will pick up again because of that system and the pending front that will move through as we move through the day on Friday night, and early Saturday morning. So again, tomorrow, sunshine, clouds late, 64 for a high, 50 for a low. Best chance precipitation after midnight on Thursday night. Low pressure will be over Iowa. Then on Friday, clouds and some early morning precipitation giving way to sun. Some scattered showers late, and then possibly a thunder shower or two on Friday night, early Saturday morning. 73 for a high on Friday, 49 for a low on Friday night. We'll have a southwest wind gusting to 30 miles per hour on Friday. Friday night, the low pressure system will be over the western part of the Upper Peninsula. So Saturday, we're going to start off with some clouds, maybe a light shower real early Saturday morning, becoming partly cloudy. Temperatures, though, will be moderating because that front will have moved through. Upper 50s for a high on Saturday, upper 30s for a low on Saturday night with partly cloudy skies. Then partly cloudy for a good part of Easter Sunday. I'm looking for a high temperature of about 54, 55 degrees, so a very nice day. Low 40s for a low on Easter night, and there will be a chance of some shower activity. A big low-pressure system will be situated over Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, down in that area, and it is going to push some moisture up our way on Sunday night and into Monday. Monday's high will be 55. Monday's low will be right around 40, still with a chance of precipitation, but then partly cloudy skies on Tuesday, 58 for a high. Above average on the temperatures, beginning with this weekend and running through the 29th of the month, above average as far as moisture is concerned. 56 is normal high, 36 is the normal low. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have on this Wednesday?
Up next, we have Cody Harris from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at CMR Tractors in Millington. Just stop by and see Bob and his line of Coyote tractors with financing rates at 0.99% up to 72 months. CMR Tractors in Millington. Remember, that's the only Coyote you want to see crossing your field. Farm Service also brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor. They know that your life and job both stop if that tractor stops running. That's why they do have parts for those tractors, new parts for old tractors. That's what they specialize in. 800-234-3280 or go to steinertractor.com. Before we get to the markets, I just want to pass along this. So we did receive this morning a note from the SBA. They have now announced the availability of low-interest federal disaster loans to small businesses and private nonprofit organizations in Michigan who sustained economic losses caused by the drought that ran from June the 1st to November the 14th of last year. The disaster declaration covers the primary county of Huron County and the adjacent counties of Sanilac and Tuscola County. So if you've got any questions, you live in those counties, might be a good idea to contact some of the folks with the Small Business Administration and find out what you need to do to be involved in that disaster relief. Along with us right now, Cody Harris at Star of the West. Cody, for once, I got you, and there's green on the board.
I think you're about as excited as I am, Terry. I haven't seen this in a while, but yeah, we're up across the board on corn, soybeans, and wheat. So that's definitely a nice start to this midweek report.
Yeah, not by a whole lot in some cases, but hey, we'll take the right direction.
Exactly. A penny here, a penny there. We'll take everyone we can get. That's for sure.
Any particular reason why?
Well, I think most of the market right now is kind of driving off of maybe some U.S. dollar index is really what the market's focused on. We're at the lowest level in 6 months, and that's putting a little bit of strength in commodities. It seems like maybe the tariff situation has made traders feel a little uneasy about owning the dollar, which kind of usually flows when the dollar index kind of decreases. You see commodities kind of see an uptick as our demand usually for our commodities increases, and we're kind of seeing that across the board. Corn demand remains stout. We're starting to see a little pickup maybe on the wheat side of things. Soybeans are a question mark. But overall, yeah, that's really what the market's kind of focused on here today, it seems like.
So right now on the board, what do you have, Cody?
Yeah, right now we have cash wheat that's up 3, 530 on the white, 455 on the red. New crop wheat up 3 as well, 559 on the white, 474 on the red. Looking over at corn, cash corn is up 2 at 413. New crop corn is up a penny at $4 even. And looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are up 3 at $9.54. And new crop soybeans are also up 3 at $9.53.
All righty, Cody. You have a good one. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Thank you. You guys as well.
You bet. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining us. The market report brought to you by Thumb Bank, working with agriculture since 1895. You know, they've got a location, well, they got 13 throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay area, including one now in Freeland. They understand that farming today has many challenges, and they do keep up with those changes as well as the industry trends and the changes of your operation. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust, and they want everybody to mark down on their calendars, not this weekend, but next weekend, Thursday through Sunday, the Freeland Walleye Festival. We'll have a lot more information on that as we move through the week next week. But all you got to do is go to FreelandWalleyeFestival.com for more information and the calendar of events. Market report also brought to you by Michigan Trucks Ring of Saginaw, your complete parts and service headquarters for light, medium, heavy-duty trucks and trailers, as well as buses and recreational vehicles. Quality parts and service, very competitive prices, and they've been doing it for over 45 years. 800-358-4751 or buy online at truckspring.com. And don't forget, they are open till 11 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Doug, good morning.
Well, good morning.
I see there's a little green out there.
New all-time high in gold, $3,336 an ounce. So that's something.
Wow.
Retail sales came in extremely strong, way higher than expected. Because of the weak dollar, obviously people have very little confidence in the value of their money, so they're putting it in gold, commodities, anything they can get rid of it on, spending it. So that's what's going on. Crude oil's up $1. Stock market's kind of a tech wreck right now. NVIDIA said they're, I think, going to take about a $5 billion charge on something that they thought of overnight or whatever. So that stock is down $7, and that's kind of got the whole tech market upset amongst others. So that's what we're dealing with. So right now, your May corn is $4.82, up 3/4 of a penny. September corn $4.57 3/4, up 1 1/2. The May soybeans $10.37 1/4, up 1 1/4. September soybeans $10.29 3/4, up 4 1/4. May wheat is $5.44, up 2 cents. September wheat $5.71 3/4, up 1 1/2. The crude oil $61.95, up $1.20. Heating oil is $207.25, up 3.4 cents. Gasoline is $2.04, up 1 1/2 cents. Natural gas kind of sloping down. $3.62 is down 6 1/2 cents. Over to currencies. Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.3874 Canadian. That's down by 79 ticks. The dollar buys 142.68 yen. That's down 55 ticks. The euro is at 113.71. That's up 9 ticks. And the dollar is at 99.59, down 62 ticks. Gold is at 33.3450, up 94.10 an ounce. Silver's 32.97, up 51 cents. Platinum is at 974.50, up $8, and copper's at 470.70, up 2.8 cents.
A little more security for Fort Knox. That's what I'm hearing.
Apparently.
Wow.
We'll
Talk
see.
to you tomorrow. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. We're getting close. There's a lot of producers top dressing, and they're taking a look at those fields, and I got a funny feeling they're going to be rolling here pretty quick. And when you're ready to roll and you're rolling and you got a question or you need something, Freeland Bean and Grain, they're there to help. Serving you is their business, and they've got quality products to make sure that you can increase your yields this coming year. Serving you since 1983, it's Freeland Bean and Grain. Jerry Samalski joining us right now with Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Jerry, what should we be looking at right now?
Terry, we've been getting some calls and going out looking at some plants. Winter burn has showed up. And again, that shows up from plants, that evergreens in particular, that have been out and blowing in the wind. Mostly winter burn doesn't kill a plant. If a plant's dead, it's usually, unless it's totally severe, but that normally doesn't happen. But it usually dies for other reasons. And winter burn is just an off color of the foliage, and typically as they start growing and coming along, that'll go away quickly. But a question for you, Terry. We had a conversation with someone last night, and we were talking about, this is one of the worst springs we've had in a long time. And I went, boy, I think we just get spoiled in the short memory. We've had a couple really good springs the last couple of years, but this is about normal, wouldn't you think, Terry, what we've had 8-10 years ago?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I had a conversation with somebody this morning about it. And so I did a little research, and, it was before COVID that we have weather like this, maybe 2 or 3 years in a row. But after COVID, everything really seemed to change. And you're right. We have had 3 straight non-winter spring-like weather
Right.
in a row. So, we are spoiled. We don't really know what reality is or what normalcy is, I guess.
Our memory gets short, but we've got things we do outside, like planting and whatnot, and when we can do it and how we can do it. That kind of tells us what the springs are like. And in the last couple of years, you're right, we've been lucky. We've been out early last year in particular. Oh my gosh, way early. But the weather the last few years has been getting nicer. But this is about what we would normally experience, like you said, maybe pre-COVID. Yeah.
Yeah. Jerry, you take care. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. All righty.
All right, Terry. And it's amazing what that virus did, because COVID must have lightened up all those springs. I know it did.
I think yes, it did. Jerry Samalski. Coming up next, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Travis Christian from Nutrient Ag.
But first, this. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Ed Raymond and Sons. Quality clothing and shoes since 1919. Carhartt's, Red Wing shoes, Stormy Cromer accessories, clothing, plus a whole lot more. You got to stop by and take a look. They are a great store to pick up all sorts of supplies when it comes to clothing and work clothes, especially. 151 West Broad Street in Chesaning. They're open 7 days. Check them out. For more information, go to edraymond's.com. Travis Christian joining us right now with Nutrient Ag. And Travis, over on your side of the state, are they a little busy right now?
Yeah, trying to dodge the raindrops that came yesterday. We still had a lot of stuff going out on fields, veggies getting planted. We get a stretch of warm weather here. I think we're going to see some corn and soybeans in the ground on the west side of the state, and I'm sure you guys have some plans on the east side of the state as well to have some of those things go in.
Yeah, we sure do. Now, real quick, any quick advice for some of our producers?
You know, I think when we have these kinds of springs where we know that we haven't had the warming effect that we want in the soil, having a solid starter program to get that seed the best chance possible to set a healthy seedling, to have good vigor, to push as many roots early as we can so that later in the season we have a plant that's more healthy and robust, has more access to water during dry periods, has more access to nutrients when it's going through grain fill in corn or flowering in pod fill in soybeans or dry beans, or, you know, trying to bulk up like a sugar beet and it's trying to soak up as much nutrients as it can to make sugar. Doing everything we can in a solid starter program is super important. And you know, I know with economics this year, guys are looking at cutting. My starter is the last place I would cut.
All right, good advice.
How important that is.
Yes, it is. Travis, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Thank you, Terry.
You bet. Travis Christian with Nutrient Ag. Over to Maple Hill Nursery in Midland we go. Chuck Servinski, we're talking about planting. We're also talking about giving our plants a good start for spring.
Right, and we're going to want to give those new trees and shrubs the best possible start with Tree and Shrub from Dairy Dew and Morgan Composting. It gives trees and shrubs a jump start with a lot of nutrients necessary for vibrant and colorful foliage, as well as root development. And it also has the added benefit of triple ground bark, which is really good for water holding capacity. And for new trees and shrubs, you're going to want to mix equal parts of tree and shrub with existing soil. So it's about a 50-50 mix, and fill in around the plant. And you can also top dress around the base of the plant and repeat later in the year for some added results. And this product can also be used with Healthy Garden, which is a dry fertilizer that Dairy Dew makes as well.
So all we got to do is stop by Maple Hill.
and we'll show you how to do it with Dairy Do products from Morgan Composting.
Chuck Cervinsky, thank you so much. You have a great day, okay?
You too, and I'll talk to you Friday.
Talk to you Friday. We'll be right back. We now conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coin in Bay City.